The signal title, Human Please, My Alien Mother is Dying. A Child's Desperate Cry. HFY Sci-Fi Story. The stars were quiet. Space was cold and endless, as always. Commander Alex Stone sat alone in his spaceship, Nova 1, drifting near the edge of the solar system. It was a peaceful night, and he liked it that way. Peace meant no trouble, no orders, just silence. He leaned back in his seat, sipping cold coffee and watching the screen for any signs of activity. Most nights, nothing ever came. Only background radiation and space dust. But tonight, something changed. Beep, beep, beep. The signal was weak, broken, almost like static at first. The computer flashed a red light. Unknown transmission detected. Alex frowned. That's odd. He leaned forward and tapped a few buttons. The signal became a soft, trembling voice, speaking in English. Please, someone, help us. Human. My mom is sick. She's dying. Alex sat up straight, his heart racing. The voice was young. A child. Scared, and not human. What the hell? He whispered. He boosted the audio and ran the voice through a translator. The system confirmed it. Alien origin. Signal language, unknown mix. Partial human vocabulary. How does an alien child speak English? Alex asked himself. He traced the signal. It came from deep space far beyond the Mars patrol zone. It was coming from an old mining route, one that hadn't been used in years. He tapped his communicator. Control, this is Nova 1. Picking up a strange distress signal. Sounds like a child. Requesting permission to follow up. A pause. Denied, Commander. No authorized missions in that sector. Could be a trap. Return to base. Alex looked at the screen again. The voice repeated. Please. She's not breathing. Someone. Anyone. His jaw tightened. He turned off the communicator. I'm not leaving a child to die out here. He powered up the engines. Hang on, kid, I'm coming. 40 minutes later, Alex reached the source. In front of him floated a small, broken ship. No lights. Barely any power. It looked old, scratched and damaged from space debris. He scanned for life. One weak life sign detected. Species. Unknown. He grabbed his helmet and opened the hatch. Air hissed as he stepped out and floated toward the alien ship. His flashlight cut through the dark. The inside was messy. Wires everywhere, metal panels hanging down, blinking red lights. Then he heard it. Soft breathing. A tiny sound. Like a child whimpering. He moved closer and found a small figure curled up near a wall. The creature had gray-blue skin, big eyes, and small hands. It looked scared, but not dangerous. It looked like a child. Alex knelt down. Hey, are you the one who called for help? The child looked up with wide eyes. It had tears on its cheeks. It spoke slowly in broken English. You, human? Alex nodded. Yes, I'm human. I heard your signal. The child's voice shook. My mom, she's sick. She told me. Find human. They will help. Where is she? Alex asked. The child pointed to a glowing crystal around its neck. Alex took it gently. The crystal lit up, and a hologram appeared. A female alien, weak and coughing, looked straight into the camera. If this reaches a human, please. My daughter is innocent. I was only trying to save lives. Help her, help me, before it's too late. The image faded. Alex stared in silence. What happened to her? The child said. We ran from war. Mom got hurt. She sent me to find you. Alex checked the ship again. It was clear. The child had launched this escape pod alone. The mother must still be on the planet where the war happened. He stood up. Do you know where your mother is? Yes, the child said. I show you. Alex opened a map. The child pointed to a red zone, marked by human military as do not enter. A restricted planet. Dangerous and off limits. His stomach turned. Going there meant breaking orders, risking his rank, maybe even his life. But he looked down at the child again, tired, shaking, and full of hope. "All right," Alex said. "We're going to find your mom." He carried the child to Nova 1 and strapped her in. Engines hummed to life again. The stars outside looked the same, but inside Alex's heart, something had changed. He wasn't just flying into danger. He was flying toward something bigger, something human, the alien child. The ship was quiet now. Only the soft hum of the engines and the gentle beeping of life monitors filled the silence. Commander Alex Stone sat in the pilot seat of Nova 1, his eyes glancing back every few seconds at the small figure sleeping in the medical pod. The alien child was resting, but not peacefully. She tossed and turned in her sleep. Her hands twitched. "Sometimes," she whispered in her own language, words Alex couldn't understand. Her face looked worried, even in dreams. Alex checked the data again. Her name was Rin. Her body was weak, from hunger and stress, but she would survive. The real problem was her mother. They had no idea how much time she had left. The ship's computer blinked. Restricted zone ahead. Planet designation K7. Warning, entry forbidden without high level clearance. Alex ignored the message. "I've broken rules before," he muttered, "but this time it's for the right reason." He watched the stars shift outside as the ship entered warp speed. They were headed straight into a war-torn area, one the human alliance had closed after several deadly missions. Rumors said the planet held secret weapons. Others said dangerous alien diseases were spreading there. Whatever the truth was, it didn't matter now. Somewhere on that planet, Rin's mother was waiting. Dying. 2 hours later, the ship dropped, out of warp. In front of them floated a red, broken world, planet K7. From orbit, Alex could already see the damage. Cities in ruins, black smoke rising from the surface, glowing cracks in the earth like veins of fire. It looked like a world that had been punished, burned and forgotten. Rin stood next to him, holding the edge of the control panel. Her small hands trembled, but her voice was steady. "She is down there, in the caves." Alex turned to her. "What caves?" Rin pointed at a large canyon on the map. "We lived there, in secret. My mom said humans wouldn't understand." Alex narrowed his eyes. "Why?" Rin looked down. "Because she was building something important, something that humans would be afraid of." That sentence stayed in Alex's mind. What exactly was she building? He didn't ask more. Not yet. The child had been through enough. "All right," he said. "Hold tight. We're going in." As Nova 1 entered the atmosphere, thick black clouds covered the sky. Lightning flashed across the planet like angry fingers. The ship shook as wind and dust slammed against the hull. A warning flashed on the screen. Detected. Unmanned surveillance drones. Alex frowned. Great. Company. Rin looked scared. "They follow anyone who flies near the caves," I figured, Alex said, gripping the controls. "Let's lose them." He tilted the ship, diving low toward the rocky surface. Too black. Drones broke from the clouds, chasing behind them. They moved fast. No lights, no sound. Only glowing red eyes and deadly aim. "Hang on," Alex shouted. The ship zigzagged through sharp cliffs and dust storms. Explosions rocked behind them as the drones fired plasma shots. One missed the wing by inches. Damn, they're locked on. He pulled the emergency booster. The ship surged forward, just enough to reach a narrow canyon ahead. Alex tilted hard and flew inside, scraping the edge of the walls. The drones followed, but not well. One slammed into the rocks and exploded. The second clipped its wing and spun out. They were safe. For now. Rin let out a shaky breath. "Thank you." Alex smiled slightly. "You're braver than you look." They landed deep inside the canyon near a small opening in the rocks. A hidden cave. Just like Rin said. As they stepped out, Alex scanned the area. No signs of life. No sounds. Just wind and red dust. They walked inside. The air was warm and dry. The deeper they went, the stranger it became. Glowing blue crystals lined the walls. Strange symbols were carved into the stone. Rin led the way. She stopped at a metal door half covered by rubble. "This is it." Alex pulled the rocks away. The door creaked open. Inside was a small lab, built with human and alien tech mixed together. Old human computers sat next to strange glowing orbs. Wires ran across the walls like veins. Screens flickered with unreadable data. And in the center of the room, a woman lay still on a medical bed. Rin ran to her. "Mom!" The woman's skin was pale blue. Her breathing was shallow. Wires connected her to machines Alex had never seen. Her eyes opened just a little when Rin touched her face. "Rin, you made it." "I found a human," Rin said, pointing to Alex. "He helped me." The woman's eyes met Alex's, weak but thankful. "You came." Alex walked forward. "What happened to you?" She tried to speak, but coughed hard. She reached out and pressed a small button on a nearby machine. A screen lit up. It showed a map. Earth. Red dots spread across it like infection. "A virus," she whispered. "I tried to stop it. I created the cure, but they didn't trust me." Alex felt cold. "You're saying the virus is on Earth already?" She nodded. "But the cure is here, in this lab." Alex looked at the strange machines. He didn't understand all of it, but he understood one thing. This wasn't just about saving one alien. This was about saving Earth. And he had just walked into something much, much bigger than he imagined. The forbidden rescue. The cave was quiet, but the silence felt heavy. The air carried a weight of secrets, of danger, of things that should never have been found. Commander Alex Stone stood in the center of the alien lab, looking at the sick mother on the medical bed. Machines beeped softly. The virus data flashed across the screen. Red dots blinked on the map of Earth, growing like fire in a dry forest. "This is already on Earth?" Alex asked again. The alien mother, still weak, nodded slowly. Her voice was faint but clear. "They took samples, tried to use it as a weapon, but it escaped containment. Now it spreads quietly." Rin, her daughter, sat by her side. Her small hand held her mother's. "She built a cure," Rin said. "But no one would listen. They were afraid because we're not human." Alex walked around the lab, eyes scanning strange tech and human data files mixed together. Half of it he didn't even understand. He stopped at one screen. Something familiar. A file marked Project Sentinel, Level 9 clearance, Human Alliance, confidential. His blood ran cold. He knew that name. "This isn't just an alien virus," Alex said. "This is one of ours, our Black Site programs, Bioweapons Division." The mother coughed again. They lost control. "Now, I am the only one left with the cure." "So what do we do?" he asked. "Send the cure to Earth? Let the doctors handle it?" She shook her head. "They'll bury it, deny it, hide the truth." Alex knew she was right. Governments didn't like admitting mistakes, especially ones this big. He looked at Rin. The child's eyes were full of fear and trust. "Can you get her out of here?" Alex asked. Rin blinked. "You mean, take her with us?" "Yes," he said. "We bring her to Earth, to someone who can't hide her." He turned to the mother. "Do you have the data?" She nodded and pointed to a silver cube on the table. Alex picked it up. Small, smooth, glowing, faint blue. "This holds the cure?" "Yes. It can make millions of doses." Alex slipped it into a sealed case. The moment he did, the cave shook. Boom. Dust fell from the ceiling. The lights flickered. Rin gasped. "What was that?" Alex rushed to the entrance and looked outside. In the sky above the canyon, 3 human ships hovered. They found us. Outside the cave, the Human Alliance strike team moved fast. Black armor, red visors, silent movements. They weren't here for a rescue. They were here to erase something. Target confirmed. one of the soldiers said through a comm link. Commander Alex Stone is with alien fugitives. Mission, capture, or eliminate. Inside, Alex grabbed a blaster from his bag and turned to Rin. Stay close to me, and no matter what, don't let go. But what about my mom? She asked. He looked at the medical bed. The alien mother was too weak to move. He had to make a choice. Run or fight? He chose both. Rin, he said, take this. He handed her the cure cube. You hold on to this, no matter what. Understand? She nodded, eyes wide. Then he tapped a button on his wrist. A small drone flew from his ship and hovered into the cave. It projected a shield dome around the mother. She'll be protected while we draw them away, Alex said. Rin hesitated but nodded. Let's go. As they left the cave, the first shots rang out. Flashes of energy flew through the air. Alex fired back, hitting one soldier and diving behind a rock. He pulled Rin down beside him. Why are they doing this? She cried. Because they think killing the truth will keep them safe, Alex growled. They ran, weaving through the rocks, ducking blaster fire. Alex led her toward his ship, but it was already surrounded. Nova 1 is under lock. They knew I'd come. He looked up at the sky. Only one way out now. The emergency shuttle, he said. Rin didn't know what that meant, but she followed. They climbed a rocky path behind the cave, reaching a small outpost used for scouts. Inside was a one-person pod, no weapons, just speed. Alex opened the hatch. Get in. What about you? She asked. I'll cover you. You take the cube to Earth. Find Dr. Elena Murray in Orbit Base 7. She's the only one who might believe you. Rin looked terrified. But I don't know how to fly. He smiled. You won't have to. I programmed it already. She held the cube tight, her eyes filled with tears. You're a good human, she whispered. He ruffled her hair. And you're braver than most humans I know. The pod launched just as the soldiers spotted them. Alex fired again, drawing their fire. Focus on me, you cowards, he shouted. As Rin's pod shot into the sky, Alex ran deeper into the rocks, leading the soldiers away from the lab, and from the truth they were trying to destroy. In space, Rin stared at the stars, her heart pounded. Below, her mother was still alive, barely. Behind, Alex was in danger and maybe worse. And ahead, Earth, the place she once feared. Now, it was her only hope. Secrets of the mother. The stars rushed past the pod like streaks of white fire. Rin sat inside, holding the silver cure cube tightly against her chest. She didn't blink. She didn't cry. She just breathed, slow and shaky. Somewhere below, her mother was still alive, protected in the cave. And Commander Alex was still down there too, risking everything. She whispered softly, "Please be okay." The pod moved fast, locked onto a secret location, Orbit Base 7, a human medical station floating above Neptune's moon. It was the only place Alex trusted. 2 days earlier, Orbit Base 7 Dr. Elena Murray, one of Earth's top virologists, stood in her lab surrounded by test tubes, holograms, and files no one else was allowed to see. She had worked for the Alliance for over 10 years. She knew things most humans didn't. Like Project Sentinel, like the virus that had mysteriously vanished from a lab on planet K7. "We made a mistake," she had told her assistant once. But no one had listened. Now she spent her days studying the patterns of a strange infection that had started appearing on Earth. Random symptoms, unexplained deaths, nothing obvious, but all connected, and it was spreading. When the emergency pod landed on the station, she was already on alert. "No ship filed for entry," her security officer said. "Then check the pod," she replied. When she opened the hatch, she didn't expect what she saw. A small alien child, alone, shaking, holding a cube. Present Timerin stood inside the cold white halls of Orbit Base 7 surrounded by humans. They looked at her with suspicion, confusion, fear. But Dr. Murray? She stepped forward and knelt down. "You must be Rin," she said gently. Rin nodded. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Alex told me to find you." Murray's heart sank at his name. He's still on K7? Rin nodded again. He helped us. My mom built this. She held up the silver cube. The doctor took it carefully. A soft blue light blinked. She scanned it. Her eyes widened. This is it, she said. This is the missing link. It's the cure. Meanwhile, back on K7, Alex hid in the rocks, bleeding from a cut on his arm, watching the soldiers move closer to the lab. He had no weapons left, just his thoughts and a plan. He tapped into a broken comm unit and sent a scrambled message. Rin, if you hear this, stay hidden. Trust Elena. Don't let anyone take the cube. Earth's future depends on it. The signal was weak. He didn't even know if it would reach her, but he had to try. On Orbit Base 7, Dr. Murray ran tests on the cube's contents. Her face grew pale as the results came in. This virus, it's been altered, she said. Someone added human DNA markers. It wasn't natural anymore. It was designed. Her assistant stepped back. Designed for what? She stared at the screen. To weaken, not kill, at least not right away. To make people sick and uncontrollable. By who? She didn't answer. Rin sat nearby, listening. My mom said humans were afraid of the truth. Dr. Murray nodded slowly. They are, but she wasn't done discovering secrets. Inside the cube's data files was a hidden message, one encoded with an alien-human hybrid language. She decrypted it, and what she read shocked her. The virus was never meant to harm humans. It was a cure, until someone changed it. Back on Earth, meanwhile, high-ranking Alliance officials received news that the alien child had reached Orbit Base 7. They were not happy. Lock down the station. Take the child. Destroy the cure. This never happened, one general said coldly. And Alex? He's already dead. Orbit Base 7. Emergency lockdown sirens. Wailed. Rin looked up, frightened. Dr. Murray pulled her into a side room and locked the door. They're coming for you. Why? Rin asked. We're trying to help. Because help isn't what they want, Murray said. They want control. She opened a small panel in the wall, a secret escape tube used for emergency medical samples. Take this cube. Go to Mars Colony. Find a man named Silas Kane. He's a whistleblower. He can send the truth to every human station, every ship, every screen. Rin clutched the cube. What? About you? Murray smiled sadly. I'll hold them off. Now go. Rin crawled into the tunnel just as soldiers burst into the lab. The doctor turned to face them. You're too late, she said. In deep space, inside the tunnel, Padrin curled up as the small escape capsule carried her silently toward Mars. She didn't know if Dr. Murray was still alive. She didn't know if Alex had survived. But she knew one thing now. This virus had never been an alien weapon. It had been turned into one by humans. And if she failed now, millions could die. She held the cube close and closed her eyes. Mom, I won't stop. I'll finish what you started. The enemy revealed. The stars looked calm, but Rin knew better. Inside the small escape capsule, she sat alone, her fingers wrapped tightly around the cure cube. Ahead was Mars Colony and a man named Silas Kane, someone Alex and Dr. Murray both trusted. Someone who, according to the message, could expose the truth to all of Earth. But time was running out. Behind her, Dr. Murray had been captured, or worse, and her mother still lay in a hidden cave on a dying planet. Rin could only pray they were alive. She repeated Alex's words in her mind. Trust no one, except Silas. Meanwhile, Mars Colony Sector 12 deep inside the colony's old industrial zone, Silas Kane adjusted the antennas on a rooftop. Gray-haired, with sharp eyes and a worn-out jacket, he didn't look like a hero, but he once was, before the Alliance turned on him. He had once exposed the Alliance's illegal weapons testing on refugees. In return, they erased his name and hunted him. Now he lived in the shadows, surviving by spreading truths others wanted to hide. His old comm link buzzed. A scrambled voice came through. Silas. Incoming pod. No ID. Locked on your zone. He raised his eyebrows. Another ghost story, huh? But something felt different. He powered up the beacon and sent a coded signal. If you're a friend of Alex Stone, land now. Rin's pod landed 15 minutes later. The doors opened. Silas stood there watching. A small alien child stepped out, clutching a silver cube, eyes wide and tired. You're Silas? She asked. And you must be trouble, he replied. She gave a weak smile. I brought the truth. Inside Silas's safe house, Rin showed him everything. The cube, the files, the hidden virus data, the message from her mother. Silas stared at the screen in silence. So this wasn't an alien bioweapon. Rin shook her head. No, my mom designed it to fight disease, to help people, but the Alliance changed it, made it a tool for control. Silas looked at the map. Earth was covered in quiet infection zones. They'd been testing it, using it slowly, preparing something bigger. He looked at her, serious now. Rin, if we send this signal, if we upload the truth, every major human system will know. Military, media, civilians. It'll start a storm. Then start it, she said. Earth, Alliance, Central Command General. Ward, a man known for cold strategy and zero emotion, slammed his fist on the table. How did that alien child reach Mars? His advisors hesitated. Sir, the pod signal was scrambled. And someone helped her. Someone on the inside. Ward's eyes narrowed. Silas Kane. They had tried to erase Silas years ago. Clearly that hadn't worked. Launch Ghost Squadron. Bring back the cube. Kill anyone in the way. And the child? Erase her. Quietly. Mars. Minutes before the upload, Silas's system was ready. Antennas aimed. Satellite feed live. Rin sat beside him, watching the final countdown. This will go everywhere, Silas said. Once I hit this, Earth won't be able to lie anymore. But then, static, alarms, incoming ships, the AI voice said. Rin stood. They found us? Too fast, Silas muttered. They must have traced the cube. We don't have much time. Blaster fire echoed outside. Rin's hands trembled. She remembered Alex's voice in her mind. When the moment comes, don't freeze. Move. She turned to Silas. Upload it now. We'll lose the signal halfway. Do it anyway. Silas hit the button. The system glowed. Files flashed across a dozen satellites, bouncing to private channels, hidden networks, underground broadcasts. Truth was flying now across the stars. Rin held her breath. Then, the wall exploded. Battle inside the safe house. Soldiers in black armor stormed in. Silas fired first, his old blaster hitting two before they returned fire. He shouted at Rin, "Run! Protect the cube!" Rin grabbed the cure and dove into a hidden tunnel. Fire lit up behind her. She didn't look back. She couldn't. She ran through narrow vents, hearing the sounds of battle above her. When she emerged on the surface, the sky had changed. Red warning lights blinked across the Mars colony skyline. People were shouting. Drones flew everywhere. Rin turned on the small holoscreen she carried, and what she saw gave her hope. The truth was out. A global news feed played footage of her mother's lab, audio from Dr. Murray, Alex's warning. Proof the virus was human-made, and already loose. Earth was in chaos, but awake, unknown location. Deep Alliance Command General Ward watched the reports flooding in. Files leaked to news agencies. Rebellion spreading across colonies. It's over, his officer whispered. But Ward didn't flinch. No, now we begin Phase 2. Mars. Silent rooftop Rin stood alone, watching the sky. The cube was safe again. The truth was free. But she still felt empty. Silas, are you alive? She whispered. No answer. Then her comm link buzzed. A familiar voice came through, rough and tired. Rin, it's Alex. I'm still breathing. Her eyes filled with tears. We did it, she said. No, Alex replied. We started it. But the real fight is coming. The last cure, the world was awake now. Truth had spread like fire. From colony screens to old Earth networks, people everywhere were seeing what they were never meant to see. The virus wasn't alien, it was human. Humans made it. Humans used it, and they blamed aliens to hide their crime. Protests erupted on Mars, Earth, and even distant mining stations. Alliance banners were torn down. Soldiers turned against commanders. Doctors demanded to see the cure. But there was a problem. There was only one dose left. Mars Colony. Underground safe zone. Rin sat beside a medical table, eyes locked on the silver vial inside a sealed chamber. The last pure sample of her mother's cure glowed a soft blue. So small, yet powerful enough to save millions, if copied in time. But time was running out. Beside her, Silas Kane lay on a stretcher, barely breathing. He had survived the attack, but just barely. Internal injuries, infection, fever rising fast. Across the room, Dr. Elena Murray had just arrived after escaping Orbit Base 7. Her face was pale. Her voice was quiet. Rin, there's no lab stable enough now to copy this safely. We need days. We have hours, Rin whispered. What do we do? Elena looked at the cure. If we give this to your mother, she might survive. Long enough to help us recreate more. And Silas, Elena hesitated. He won't last the night. Rin's hands tightened into fists. One dose. One life. Her mother, the scientist who built the cure, or Silas, the man who risked his life to share the truth. Either choice could change everything. Meanwhile, K7 cave system Alex Stone limped through the tunnels holding his side. The Alliance forces had pulled back, retreating after the public outrage, but not before destroying half the mountain. He found the shielded room where Rin's mother still lay. Her breathing was shallow, her skin pale. You're strong, he said softly. You held on, but now we need you. He activated the last working drone, linking it to the Mars base. Rin, I found her, but she doesn't have long. Mars. Secure chamber and watched the screen. Her mother, barely conscious, blinked at the camera. Her voice was a whisper. Rin, my little light, you did more than I ever dreamed. I have the cure, Mama, Rin said, crying. But only one dose. The mother looked at her gently. Then you already know what you must do. Rin shook her head. No, you have to live. You can help more. I'm tired, Rin, and I trust you to finish what I started. Elena turned away, tears in her eyes. We need your decision, now. Outside, riots on Mars Colony. The colony was falling apart. Civilians demanding the cure. Alliance drones scanning for Rin. Chaos. Rumors spread that she was hiding the last vial. Some said she was a hero. Others said she was a threat. In the quiet of the med room, time stopped. Rin stood between two lives. Her mother, the creator, the guide, the reason all of this began. Silas, the rebel, the fighter, the man who saved her and gave her voice to the galaxy. She placed the vial between them. Then she closed her eyes, and she chose hours later. Mars Transmission Hubrin stood before a live broadcast station looking into a camera. All channels across human space were listening. Her voice trembled but didn't break. My name is Rin. I'm not human, but a human saved me. And today I had to choose who to save. She paused. I chose the man who gave you the truth. She held up the empty vial. This was the cure. There is no more, yet. But my mother's files are still with us. Her knowledge can guide us. But we will need your help, your trust, and your courage. This is not just an alien problem. This is a human problem. And humans must decide, are you ready to fix it? The screen went black. In a quiet room, Silas Kane opened his eyes. The cure had worked. He saw Rin asleep beside him, curled up on a chair, exhausted. He whispered, You made the right call, kid. Far away, in the K7 caverns, mother lay, peacefully, her eyes closed. She never woke again, but her legacy had already begun. The child's hope. The galaxy had changed, not with war, not with weapons, but with a child's voice and a single impossible choice. Run, the little alien girl who once cried out to a human for help, was now a symbol of hope and a reminder of what it meant to be truly human. Mars colony. 2 weeks later, dust still floated in the sky from the riots. Buildings stood scarred, drones hovered low, and everywhere screens showed one repeating phrase: truth is alive. Inside the underground medical lab, Silas Kane sat in a wheelchair, weak but recovering. He stared out the window at a long line of humans and aliens waiting patiently, not for weapons, not for revenge, but for medicine. Rin walked in, holding a new version of the silver vial, now glowing a brighter blue. "Batch 6 is ready," she said quietly. Silas smiled. "Your mother would be proud." Rin nodded, but her eyes were sad. The pain hadn't gone away. It never really would. "I still hear her voice," she whispered. "Every night." Silas turned toward her. "You gave up your family to save ours, and you still think you're the alien?" Rin looked away. "They still stare. Some people say, I shouldn't be here." "Let them stare," Silas said. "They looked away for too long. Maybe now they'll finally see. Earth." Alliance High Command General Ward stood in front of a tribunal, his crimes exposed, millions watching. He didn't speak once, but his silence screamed guilt. When the verdict came, the galaxy erupted in cheers. Guilty, stripped of rank, sent to exile, the virus he had hidden, the lie he had buried, all undone by a girl with no army, no power, and no voice, until one human listened. Case 7. Final Mission Commander Alex Stone walked through the cave alone. The war was over. He had returned to fulfill one last promise. In the far chamber, beside the now dark medical bed, he placed a single object on the stone floor, a small memorial plaque, engraved with alien and human words, side by side. Lara of Elyen, mother, scientist, healer. She didn't come to destroy us. She came to remind us who we are. Alex stood in silence, no salute, no speech, just respect. Mars, 1 month later. A new building rose on the edge of the colony. Clean walls, bright lights, not a government base, not a military lab, a healing center, named after Lara. Inside, humans and aliens worked side by side. Scientists, doctors, children, and at the heart of it, Rin, not just a survivor anymore, a leader. She no longer hid behind fear. Her voice was clear. Her eyes were strong. My mother gave me life. But a human gave me a future. Now I'll protect both. One final transmission, sent across the stars, a small message, recorded by Rin herself. It played not on battle screens or hidden networks, but in classrooms, in homes, in quiet places where people needed to remember what mattered. Her voice was calm, soft, but powerful. We feared each other because we didn't try to understand. We hurt each other because we listened to fear more than truth. But it only takes one moment, one choice, to change everything. She paused, then said the words that had once saved her. "Human, please. Help." And now, the galaxy listened. Final scene. Far future years later, a young human girl in a classroom points at a statue. "Who's that?" she asks. Her teacher smiles. "That's Ren, the child who reminded us what it means to be human."